Hello and welcome to a new video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today's video is fundamentally different from all the videos I've ever done before, because today's video is just about a personal announcement. And taking the opportunity of this personal announcement, I'm going to show you my personal chart and show you some small, neat techniques that you can also apply to your chart later. So make sure you watch the video ready to the end, though it might be a bit longer video, but I'm sure you're gonna get very nice insights into astrology. So alright, so my announcement is that I officially announced my website. Ta-da! VedicSpirituality.com. I have it in English, it is here, and also in German. I'm native from Switzerland, so my mother tongue is German, so I have offer in English and a German website. And on this website I offer my astrological services. You have some information about myself, and then here is what I can offer you. So I have learned Jaimini and Parashara astrology from Ernst Wilhelm, and Brigu astrology from my Brigu astrology teacher, Arya Brigu. And in the meanwhile, I feel pretty confident to give readings for people. And what I do, like in the part of Brigu astrology, I have learned how to use Panjanga for chart reading, not only for timing events, but really for character readings. And Panjanga means 5 limbs of times, like the moon phase, the nakshatras, the karana, which is the half moon day, the yoga is a specific degree between sun and moon, and the vara, the weekday. So all these things, they give very specific informations about the character of a person. And besides the Parashara astrology, which means you're considering the placements of the house lords within the different houses, this gives a bit more laser focused understanding about the person, and it's very amazing in my opinion. Together in Brigu astrology there's also Muhurta reading. So Muhurta are the 30 parts of the day. If you have a day, 24 hours, you divide it in 30 pieces. This is 48 minutes each, and they are not only there for timing events, but also it can be used in birth chart reading. If you have seen my last videos about mundane astrology, I mean political events and so on, I used this Muhurta technique. Then part of the Parashara system is the condition of the planets. So the planets, they have different conditions, have ages, they have awakening stage. Then there is conditions based on their natural relationship among each other, conditions based on the dignity, and also conjunctions with specific planets like the Sun and Saturn and Jupiter. Gives different types of conditions the planets are in. And this is part of the Parashara system. Then Rahu Ketu, I have learned this Rahu Ketu from Ernst Wilhelm's courses, and it is very psychological. Rahu Ketu readings are very psychological, and it shows more or less where our wrong attachments are and what we have to do to resolve that, or maybe not wrong attachments, but pathological psychological tendencies, so to say. Then for Jaimini, I especially use Jaimini for reading the divisional charts and getting more specific insights, and also for predicting. Jaimini astrology is really like very amazing. In terms of predicting, I'm quite confident in using Vimshatari Dasha, but as time's going on, I will add more different Dasha readings also. yeah, so this is like the things I do. And if you have seen my videos, more or less I have used all these techniques on my videos, so you get a good feel of how my way of astrology is. In my Instagram profile I write Vedic astrology but different. So I believe since not many use this all techniques together, and especially mostly people do not have access to these Brigu astrology techniques, my approach and understanding is quite unique. Not that I want to be unique or something, but I think it's quite different from the average astrologer you might meet. Let me just check. I'm still recording. Yes, I am. Okay, so in terms of pricing, I have written here, explain myself about the pricing. So it's based on donation, but it doesn't mean that I just don't need money and just do this for fun. I still have a family, I have to maintain it, and so on. But I believe it's a divine science, and if someone is inspired to have a reading from me, and like he has a problem and he approaches me with a problem, I kind of feel this is a divine arrangement, and money should not be a matter for somebody who cannot take a reading or something. Of course, if like I get too many questions, I cannot also possibly do everything, and then of course priority will be there. But yeah, you can just before asking me for reading, just please read this, so we are on the same page. All right, here's some testimonies. You can read them. Just go to vedicspirituality.com. Some more I have, but I have not added them here yet because I need always, yeah. All right, so at the moment I'm still in Bali, Indonesia. My wife is Balinese. I have 2 kids, by the way, and we are moving for good to Switzerland. Means we are really packing our bags. We're going, and I will be on Tuesday. We'll travel. Today's Saturday. I'm recording this, so it's just another 3 days. Tomorrow is the big packing day, and yeah, we're excited to start our new life there. Yeah. Okay, that is from the astrology part here. I will not do this video in German. If maybe requests will come to do it later on in German, I might, but for now I will not. Then the second website I'm also launching today is my other business, where I offer my services for web designs and web development. So basically what I can do is I can make your website, I can make your online shop, I can do your online marketing like Facebook ads, Google ads and stuff like that. And also I can design your logo, and if you have a business idea, I can make it happen by sourcing the product, branding it, selling it. So if you have ventures like this in your mind but not enough time or not enough know-how, but you have the funds to spare to hire me, then I'm your man. Yeah. So how I got to these experiences, I will tell you as soon as we look at my chart. Okay. So that is my second thing I want to do. Yeah. All right. This website is kensidesigns.ch. It's only in German so far. I have not yet thought about making it in English because I'm mainly targeting just Swiss customers. Because usually Swiss, they trust other Swiss, and also English market. So many are doing this already, but German is less. The German market is less, and also Swiss people, they have money usually and they pay something more. But however, I can also do English sites, no problem. All right, so I want to show you my birth chart, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life so far and some more details what was going on in my last 2-3 months. I had some interesting things to share. So I'm born on 22nd February 1986 at 13:15 a.m. in Visp, Switzerland. Okay, and just spontaneously I would like to show you something. Alpenblickzenecken.ch. Alpenblickzenecken. This is the house I grew up. It's my parents' where is it? This is a hotel, and this belonged to my parents. Now my brother is taking care of it. Oh, it's automatic in English. Well done. My brother is quite good in marketing. With making on websites. So this is the house I grew up. Just here around the corner, these rooms here. These are like the living room for my parents, and my room was just like right there. Here I went 5 years to school. The first year of primary school was just behind the church, and here I went 5 years to school. This building was just newly made. And now look at this gorgeous view. Beautiful, is it not? Is it not? Is it not? So this is south direction. If you go backside here is Zermatt. The Matterhorn is this very famous mountain which is on the logo of the Toblerone chocolate. You know, this triangle chocolate in the yellow box. This mountain that is just behind here. It means you just go like 30 kilometers further or something like that. And yeah, this is the village. It's a very small village, only 250 inhabitants. Now of course it's a bit skewed because of the yeah, so this is the view. Of course it's a bit skewed because it's like this is better. Yeah. So this is this region of Switzerland is called Wallis, and it's coming from the Latin word valle, which means valley, and basically the whole place is just one huge valley which starts backside there and goes along there, and then along the valley it goes, the river flows. There are many rivers from the sides which are flowing in, and yeah, so it's all backside here is very beautiful place to walk through the forest. It's not crowded, and yeah, it's just a nice place. So when I go back to Switzerland, I'm not gonna live in this place. I'm gonna live more north to this place in a city called Langenthal, which is not gorgeous in comparison to this at all. But we have there a temple and a community where I live, and my son has also a special school there among children from our ashram. So that's nice. Okay. And this city, Visp, which I was born, is just down here. I mean, it's the hospital down here. It's just, yeah, just this place down there. This is the height is 1375 meters above the ocean. This here. Okay, so let's move on. It's still recording. Because in the morning I was recording this video for 1 hour and 20 minutes, you know, and then half of the video didn't have sound, and I don't know why. So somehow by God's arrangement I am doing it again. Okay, so first of all I want to show you on my chart why I chose today to launch the website, and that is using the Ashtaka Varga. So Ashtaka Varga is a very simple technique, and it works like that. Like for instance, we look here, the Ashtaka Varga of the Ashtaka means 8. So this is the 7 planets without Rahu and Ketu plus the ascendant. So you have here, these are 9. So this is 8 individual point chart. I don't know exactly how you called it. And here is the Sarva Ashtaka Varga. Yeah, no, the individual Ashtaka Vargas. And here's the Sarva Ashtaka Varga, where like here this is Virgo, no? This is Virgo, so all the points of Virgo are counted together, then you get 37. And basically between 25 and 30, that is like average. Between above 30 is fortunate, and below 25 is unfortunate. And what it says is like, for instance, the moon. When the moon is placed here in Cancer, then according to the placement of the other places like Jupiter, Sun, Moon, Mercury is in the 8th from the moon, Sun, Mars is in the 5th from the moon, and Ascendant is in the 12th from the moon. So from all these 7 other, the 6 other planets and 7 and the Ascendant, only 2 are in a favorable place from the moon. But if the moon moves to Cancer, to Leo here, there 6 would support the moon. So that means whenever the moon transits through Gemini and Cancer, I have not the support the environment gives me to flourish and feel emotionally stable and productive is less. And whenever it moves through these 2, I will feel it's a good transit for the moon. So this is what he's saying. And the same is for all the planets. So the Jupiter at the moment is in Sagittarius, so he's in a very good placement. If Jupiter will move here, so Jupiterian things during this period, the Jupiter is in Capricorn, will be less, having less support. Unfortunately, this software, Jagannath Hora, it doesn't show the exact breakdown of the chart. Means it would be interesting to know which 2 planets actually support Jupiter. So you wouldn't know, it will be actually very important to know that. Unfortunately, this software doesn't do that. However, it's already enough to work with it. So now to find a good timing for any venture you want to do, you have like 4 parameters. That is, one is Jupiter's placement, one is the placement of the moon, one is the placement of the sun, one is the ascendant, 4, and then the 5th one is the Karaka planet, the planet, the activity you want to do is connected to which planet. So it's, for instance, you want to buy a house, or you want to go to war or something like that, then Mars. If it's like about communication, like now what I'm doing is like I'm launching a website or something, I'm looking at Mercury. I also chose Venus also, because it is a counseling business, the astrology, as well as the other one is more like counseling and also like exchanging things, Venus. So nice to have Venus there also. And if it's like, for instance, for love, having good love life, you would have to see Venus. So when you see that Venus is well supported, love life will flourish. Like for instance, anyway, but for instance, for now like 3-4 months, my Venus was in only 2 points. So anyway, but we live with it. Anyway, so yeah, so now we have Saturn, Jupiter in Sagittarius. So my Sarvastika Varga has 40 points, and that is really good. So during this period, Jupiter is in Sagittarius. Anything I start, I will get a lot of support. Everything will come together very nicely, so to say. And I also, during this period, I really took serious this Jyotish science, and I had really a smooth start. It really went well. I got a lot of support, and just things were flowing very well. So that is also thanks to this Jupiter placement. And yeah. And the sun at the moment is in Cancer, 5 points, is good. The moon is here, 6 points. Therefore I waited until the moon transits to Sagittarius also. And then Mercury is here, 6 points, and Venus just moved recently. Therefore I waited until Venus moves to a better place at 6 points. So therefore I was looking where is Venus, where is Mercury, where is the sun, and then wait for the right moon placement. And therefore I chose this weekend. That means it started like 1.5 days ago, and will go another 1 day, or a little bit less than 1 day, where moon is transiting in the Sagittarius. So this is a good period for me to start something new. I had something similar when the moon was here in Ashwini Nakshatra, I mean Aries. There also I started something for myself. Okay. What and one thing more I want to tell is that if you like consider Jupiter's placement, you should see that the placement Jupiter is also a good support for the Sun, as well as for the Moon, as well as for the Lagna ascendant, as well as for the Karaka planet, Mercury. So therefore, yeah. So the only not so much favorable thing on this day is that the Sun is in Cancer, and in Cancer the Moon is not well supported. So that is not too much ideal. I have found another date in the September when the Sun will be in Virgo. That time the Moon will be also supported well, as well Mercury and Venus will be well supported. That will be a 24th September. So that time I'm planning to have another launch of the second level of my business or something. I hope I will get enough time to prepare myself for that. Yeah. So that is the way you can very easily find good dates. Of course, Saturn, Jupiter moves only slowly once a year. So if like Jupiter is here, you cannot just wait a year until it's moving to a good place. So therefore, we have to be a bit practical. But if you can wait, like I had the chance to wait until in June. I waited until July, where Jupiter moves back to Sagittarius before I launched this. I could have launched this website already before. I had it ready, but I waited until today. Okay, so that is one thing I wanted to show you. And then let's have a further look at my chart. It is here. And one thing you can look at in your chart is how the energy flows. So, and that means, like for instance, let's take Ketu. Ketu is in the Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. So where is Venus? Venus is in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. So where is Saturn? Saturn is in Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. So, and Mars is in his own house. So kind of, he's like the final dispositor of Ketu. He's the dispositor of Rahu. And all these planets here, their dispositor is Saturn, and Mars is the ruler of Scorpio, where Saturn is placed. So more or less the whole chart, even like the ascendant lord is here, the lord of the ascendant, the lord of the lord of the descendant is here, and the lord of the lord of the lord of the ascendant is Mars in the 6th house. So the whole energy flows more or less to this 6th house, and that is the house of service. And I had to realize, or this is how my teacher told me when I had a personal reading with him, that whatever I do will be only successful if it is in the spirit of service. If I like I was trying, since I was married, I married, like you see, in the late Ketu Dasha, 2011 I married. And since that time, I had like at least 4 or 5 big business ventures that failed, and that left me with more debts that I more lost than I actually earned. And the first business was, I was with a friend from Switzerland. He invested the money, and we imported a huge container of artwork from Bali to Switzerland, with huge sculptures. Yeah, huge means like 2 meters, wooden sculptures of eagles and whatnot, and paintings. And I made contact with a businessman who was agreed to give his place for exhibition. And he was saying, "Oh, I have so many contacts here and there, and they will all come and they will buy everything." But finally, it was almost nothing sold, and still the stuff is kind of here and there scattered. We'll have to take care of that. And then later I was trying to import cloths from India to Bali. I had a friend who is from Jaipur, and he was like together with him, but it failed due to the very strange and intense import regulations in Indonesia. And then what else I did? Yeah, and then 2017 I think, I got into online marketing. So I was like getting fired up for that. I saw somewhere an advertisement, make money online or something. Then I started to research on YouTube. Then I ended up buying a course for dropshipping, and I was launching at least 4 shops I launched. I made money. I lived from that money, but in the same time also I made some credit card debts with my mother, which are still due. And everything went up to the point where I was really like completely frustrated. But it was a good frustration, because I became just disillusioned, and I just kind of gave up the hope, which gave me again freedom, so to say. Then I had the really life-changing reading with my teacher, Arya Brigu, and he was saying to me that Venus is in the 9th house, and he went a little bit more in depth, but basically this period, Venus Mahadasha, is not for earning. It is just for spiritual progress. So therefore, any ventures in terms of making money will not be that fruitful, will be not that that helpful. And the thing is that I had before, like I met a South Indian astrologer, actually very senior one, very nice, elevated Brahmana also in the Sri Sampradaya, who was his lifelong brahmachari and puchari of Sri Rangam Ashram. And he was like the South Indian, I don't know so many of them, I mean Indian astrologer, I'm not so much conversant, but it seems like they are quite, they just see Venus Dasha, they will just say, oh, money will come, Venus is blessing you, you will get everything you want, you will flourish, and eventually it will happen, but it didn't happen until now. His prediction did not came true yet. And yeah, and it seems it was a bit wrong counseling. Maybe it will still come, and I believe because since he's a Brahmana, his word will have some power. But it didn't happen in the businesses so far, and I was just wondering why. And my teacher just said to me, it's just not time for material gains, and that is great. And then the second thing is this Saturn-Mars conjunction I'm having here in Scorpio. It's not a very favorable conjunction because Saturn considers Mars an enemy, and Saturn conjunct to any planet always gives some limitation to the planet. So he said, I have to first work out this conjunction before I can do anything. And working out this conjunction, since it's in the sixth house, it means that I have to be employed first somewhere. Yeah, I have to just work in employment. Just he's a boss, he says do this and I do this for him and he pays me, and like just a job. So before I was always trying to be independent and do something on my own, but since he said that and I changed my mind, somehow or other by some friends arrangement, I got connected to one businessman in Switzerland who gave me one project after the other where I could build website from him. And since that time my earning is really like stable. I can really maintain myself, I can maintain my family, I could buy my ticket to Switzerland, I will be able to afford the apartment and so on, and it's still ongoing. So just having that mindset change from, oh, I'm in the blessed Venus Dasha and everything is just the path is just paved with flowers for me, whatever I touch which is connected to Venus will just pour money in my life in abundance. So I came away from that, from I just have to work in a job. So just changing that mindset, like, yeah, made it all right. So that is also one of my reasons I really want to get into Jyotish very nicely, so that I will not give wrong predictions. Like I got quite a few of wrong not wrong predictions, cannot say, but a bit wrong guidance, I would say. So I will really try to follow in the footsteps of my teacher and make nice down-to-earth consultations. Yeah. So that is one thing I wanted to share with you. This is Saturn-Mars conjunction in the 6th, and that everything is like, for me, should be based on service attitude. So whatever I do, it should be always in a service attitude. And that's actually not quite difficult for me, because I was living as a monk, and what you do as a monk, you just serve the whole day. You're just there without payment. You just cook and clean and serve the spiritual master, serve the temple community, do your service for the community. And it's all about devotional service without any ultimate motive. So for me, that's actually quite easy. But or a lesson I have learned thanks to the spiritual training I got of being a monk, so let's say like that. So it was easy to switch. Okay, so that is one thing. The next thing in my chart is interesting. Is I have a Kemadruma yoga, which is a rather very bad yoga. And that means, Kemadruma yoga means that the moon is not supported by either side. Also not, So we have in the 12th from the moon in Gemini. I'm not sharing the screen, huh? Sorry. No, I'm scanning the screen. In the 12th from the moon in Gemini, and in the 2nd from the moon in Leo, there is no planet other than the sun and Rahu Ketu. So the moon doesn't get support, and that makes a Kemadruma yoga. And that is also one reason I might have started so many ventures without success. And like fortune in terms of money is not coming yet. I have not too much studied about yogas yet. There's still a book on my shelf that I have to go through, but since I lately had so many projects from my boss, I could not get through it yet. But Kemadruma yogas, how I experience it is just making you quite spaced out. I mean, floating in the air, like the mind is not fixed. But after all, moon is in his own house in Cancer, therefore it doesn't result in some kind of agony or some kind of confusion. In myself, I feel complete and happy, but just in relation to the world, people experience me as spaced out. It's less and less and less as I grow older. But when I was like in my 20s, I was really known for being spaced out. I don't know, this is a term, but in our ISKCON society, in our ashram, this is like a very well-known term, to be spaced out. Alright, the moon, Kemadrumas get cancelled if there are planets in Kendras. So in the 10th or 4th or 7th, and this is only the case with Rahu Ketu. They are not actually really can cancel the yoga, but to some extent they cancel it and they give just something strange to the person. So that's also the reason that I always kind of out of the box. Like when I was a monk, I was not a monk like everyone else. I was a bit different minded, because many they get into this, I'm now in a celibate and I'm like this and that and that. And I never got into this type of mindset like most others do. Also, once I'm married, I was not like the usual married that is like, always I'm a bit out of the box. Now also I do astrology. The way I do astrology is very different from whatever anyone else is doing. So this is coming from this Rahu Ketu in the Kendra from the moon. One interesting thing I wanted to tell you also is when I got into my Rahu Antardasha, at the moment I'm in Venus Rahu Dasha, I got the strong inspiration that I want to learn drawing, and I want to use that art to convey knowledge. Means put Jyotish knowledge and spiritual teachings into drawings to make it easier for people to convey. And I asked my teacher whether he gives me blessings for that. So he said I should look at my chart. And what he taught me then, is that you have to look at the third house. The third house is about the skills. It's also the hand. Gemini is the natural third house, and it's the hand, your skills, ruled by third house, ruled by Mercury. And you not only look at the third house, which will be Leo, but also the fifth, because the fifth is the third of the third, and as such a secondary third house. And then you don't look only the third and the fifth from the ascendant, but you also look from the third and the fifth from the moon, as well as from the Hora Lord, the Lord of the hour, which is Mercury. That is the use of Hora Lord is, I think, special to the Brigu astrology, giving importance to that. But also, if not Hora Lord, here I have 4 planets in this Aquarius, which makes it a very concentrated energy there. And since it is a very outstanding place, or a very significant place in the horoscope, you can also read the horoscope from here. So don't only read from the ascendant, but you can read from other important places, like strong conjunctions from the moon definitely, and the Hora Lord. Hora Lord now happen also to be in this conjunction. So anyways, it's quite important to read my chart also from here. So if I want to see my skills for art, drawing, I have to see Leo and Libra, the third and fifth from ascendant, then Virgo and Scorpio, the third and fifth from the moon, and Aries and Gemini, the third and fifth from Aquarius. And then I take all these influences that are there, the grahas, the zodiacs, the rulers of the zodiacs, and put them together, mix them, and then ta-da, we have the reading of my drawing skills. That's also not only drawing skills, it's also kind of communication, many things, whatever third house means. But now let's talk for drawing. So it seems third lord is in the 9th house, conjunct to Venus, which is art, conjunct to Jupiter, which is teaching, Mercury, which is communication. Quite okay. Then the 5th is Ketu. So my teacher said, therefore, whatever I do, it should not be mundane, it should be connected to spirituality. And anyway, I plan to do spiritual topics. Then, in the 3rd from Aquarius, which is quite a significant place in my chart, is Rahu, Aries. The 3rd from Aquarius is Aries, is Rahu there. And Rahu, it's very, very interesting. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. Is where we are not developed, where we really, inexperienced. So we have Rahu, Ketu. They are the army of the planets, and Ketu is a part of the army that have set camp and put a flag. Ketu, one literal meaning is flag, and it's like they put camp, like these Asterix and Obelix. The Romans, they always put their camp with the pointed tree stems all around, like this is Ketu. And then the group that presses out to conquer the village of Asterix and Obelix, and they're getting beaten up. This troop, this is Rahu. They are those who are going out into the unknown land, and so wherever Rahu is placed, we are undeveloped, unexperienced, and therefore we tend to go with Ketu. But Ketu will never be happy, because after all, Rahu and Ketu, they're one entity, and they need to be joined. So unless we develop our Rahu placement and embrace our Rahu placement, we will never feel fulfillment. We always will feel torn and not happy. Therefore, mostly people are unhappy. That is because they are not developing their Rahu. They're not embracing something. They're not somehow not going the path. There's destiny actually pushes them to go. And So Rahu is things we are not developed. That therefore, in terms of everything that is now mentioned here, Aries. In this case, it's the 3rd house, means for drawing. Means I have to really learn it from scratch. talent is there. You can see a possibility is there, but since Rahu is involved, that means I don't have. It's just not given to me naturally. I have to really learn the skill, and I have to go through the process of learning it. And Rahu also is like digital. I want to get into digital painting. I have already a tablet, and I ordered a good pen, and I want to learn digital painting. So therefore, this is Rahu influence, digital. So we have here Ketu, which is makes the topic spiritual. It's also Venetian house, art, beautiful. Then we have here Rahu, which makes it my skill undeveloped, which has to be developed, and it makes it also computerized, means digital. Then we have here Leo, the sun, in the ninth, so it's also connected to spirituality because the third is in the ninth, and also some possibility of becoming famous, no? Because the sun is illuminating and showing, not famous, or not famous, but at least get some attention. It's not, yeah. And then we have here the third from Mercury, from the moon. The third from the moon is ruled by Mercury. It's Virgo, so I like to paint mountains. Virgo is mountains. That's also true. Landscapes. I will paint landscapes, and it's also about communicating something. So I learned that to communicate something. And in the fifth here is Saturn and Mars, which again is this infamous, this not favorable conjunction. And for that, my teacher said that because this is there, I first have to really master it. I mean, I have to work it out. I have to master the skill before I can get recognition for it. If I do something half-half, people will never like. So I really have to achieve a certain level of mastering. Otherwise, there will be no success. And that comes from Saturn and Mars. So all these things are mixed together, and like that we can give a more wholesome reading for a specific topic. Okay, as a last thing, I want to again re-emphasize this Rahu thing. And since I have entered this Rahu Antardasha, I have like started to work on my drawing skills. And also one thing I have started is I went for a singing course. I learned guitar when I was younger, and many years I didn't play now because I was like going to ashram, and there, yeah, you just don't play guitar and sing songs, you know. And but now eventually I started again. I bought a guitar just yesterday. Ta-da! My new guitar. Look at this, beautiful. And
Yes.
thank you. And I started to learn guitar because I had the desire to sing. I thought this is a nice instrument where you can sing along. And also one astrologer told me once, because of moon in the second house, I have a liking for singing, and that's true. I like to sing. But again, Rahu here in Aries shows that I have to learn it. And why Aries? Now this is interesting. To the singing teacher I went, it's just nearby my house here. She's Balinese, and she's an architect by trade. So she said due to her architect studio study, I hope it's still recording. It's recording? Yeah, it's recording. Okay, sorry. So due to her architect study, I will just change the screen. So due to her architect study, she could understand much more how a voice is produced. And whatever she taught me now for like 2 months or something, just how to hold my mouth. So everything happens in the mouth. The whole sound is, of course the sound comes from here, but you don't do anything here. Here should be no tension at all. Everything happens with the pump from down and then in the mouth. So how you hold your tongue, how you hold your jaw, how you put pressure on your lips, that is the way you can, that is the key for singing. And having Rahu in Aries, which is exactly this part of the body, Aries is the head, I really had to learn it from scratch, like first it took me like 4 lessons to actually understand what she means, and then it took me another 8 lessons to really keep it in a proper position. And then what I understood through that is like singing is not so much different from playing flute. Like you blowing the air from down, and then create the sound on this edge where the flute makes a sound. No, you create. So the same way you create, you have to bring the sound to your front teeth, and for that to happen, you have to make space here and bring this in front, and the tongue also should be in front. As soon as the tongue flips a little bit backwards, there is enough not space, and the amplitude or the wave, the sound wave, cannot form properly. And I had to really learn this from scratch, how to hold the mouth, like almost like a child has to learn walking, Though I was singing my whole life always for myself, but Rahu here in these areas, now in my age of 34, I have to learn how to do this, And then it was very interesting that this happens now, while Rahu is transiting my Gemini, and also while I entered into Rahu Antardasha. And yeah, so Rahu in Aries. Then also one thing that happened during this Rahu in Antardasha was quite interesting, is that I started to go swimming quite often, like twice or thrice a week in the swimming pool. Because of this lockdown, my son could not go to school, and I had to somehow engage him, so we started to go every day somewhere, and every second day, every third day we went to swimming pool, and I started swimming, and as a result I developed my chest muscles more than I had before. I mean, I'm a completely non-sportsman. I never did any sports. I consider hiking a sport, but anything where you start sweating, and I don't have passion for this type of things. Yeah, there's also a reason for that. I don't want to go. I mean, in a chart, I can tell you why, but don't want to go into that now. But now, while this Gemini transit of Rahu, Gemini is the 3rd house of the shoulders, and Rahu is in the 3rd house from here, from this Aquarius. Yeah, sorry, I have to change the screen. So Rahu is in the 3rd from Aquarius, and Rahu was transiting Gemini. I started to develop some more muscles, which I didn't have before. Yeah. Okay. So there I could go endlessly about this and my chart, but that's enough for today. So what I wanted to teach, the information I wanted to share, is one thing is this Ashtakavarga. So have a look at that. You can see it's Ashtakavarga. You always have to keep in mind that this is the support of the environment. So Mars transiting in Sagittarius, that means Mars matters get a lot of support. Things will go smooth and easy, and so on. And in that way you can time events, and the Jupiter, the Sun, the Moon, and the Ascendant, they're like the hands of the clock, and if they are in placements where they're mutually supportive and generally supportive, that is a good time to do something, and or whatever you start in that time will go smooth and nice. So yeah, that is Ashtakavarga. And then I wanted to share with you where are you? I'm still sharing the screen? Yes, I am. Wanted to share with you this method that when you read the 3rd house, you not only read the 3rd, but you read also the 5th, because it's the 3rd of the 3rd, and not only from the Lagna, but also from the Moon and from the Hora Lord. Hora Lord, by the way, if you have this this software, scroll down here, you will see the Hora Lord here, Mercury. Okay, And then the third thing I wanted to share with you was some very practical experience with Rahu. Since I'm now in Venus Rahu Antardasha. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. I hope it was insightful for you. Have a look at my website. If you feel inspired, you can contact me. Most probably, just now in these 2 weeks I will be busy a bit, so you will might have to wait for a while for the reading. But definitely I will do it. Oh yeah, just a second, yeah. And if you have some business venture, want to start something online, and you want someone to just do it for you, I can do it from sourcing the products over branding it, over setting it up and marketing in it. I can do everything. All right. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you well.